Hi everybody, I'm back. The lighting is horrible. Give me a second to get this taken care of. 1 second here. Oh, the lighting's not horrible. It's because I cracked my screen. Alright guys, looks like I can't do any video towards me. I should have waited a minute before starting this, but I'm gonna give our little lady a little bit of hay. So everything's going well today. Everything's pretty much normal. I'm just gonna go give her some hay and then I'm going around to the other side. Here you go, sweet girl. There you go, little bug. I'm gonna go around back behind and we'll talk back there. Go stand in the shade. So everything's going well. Welcome back to João Pessoa, Brazil. We are here with Lady. And once again, you're gonna get the view of her little cute hiney in her elephant transport container because that's where she seems to be living these days. She's very, very comfortable back there. Everything's really, really good. 1 second. I should have waited. I'm sorry for starting this so quickly, but I got it sooner. I wasn't quite ready. She's in her transport crate, hanging out once again. Everything's going really, really well. It's calm, easy, tranquil. They did foot soaks with her. I said I was going to show you guys foot soaks, but that didn't work out this morning. I had a lot going on, a lot of conversations that were happening, so I did not get a chance to do that. But she did foot soaks for her caregivers this morning. Everything was really, really good. And they also treated an abscess that's on the side of her face. She was really cooperative with that. So everything's going well. Then she came on down and went into her transport crate, just hanging out, just doing her thing. Not much happening, not much to report there's anything new and different. Just more people aligned for the common good of Lady. Everything's going just fine. But the only problem I have right now is that last night I had been using one of the gimbals for filming, and I took my protective case off my phone because I'm always dropping my phone, and I didn't put it on before I went back to the hotel last night and dropped the phone and cracked my screen, so it looks like there's a crack across a crack across the front of my screen, so I can't turn the camera around. So sorry about that, but it's not the good view anyway. You want the view of Lady. So anyway, we're back to reality here. We have Lady from João Pessoa, Brazil, a small zoo here, and she's in the process of being transported or transitioned to Elephant Sanctuary, Brazil. She is doing exceptionally well. 48 years old, plus or minus. She is born in captivity, lived on circus, alone most of her life. Really well adapted overall. She's doing quite well. We've noticed she's pretty quick to let people know when she's not safe or not comfortable. When she feels a little bit insecure, she doesn't really express it aside from hitting the bars. So there was a video yesterday where she hit the bars pretty quickly, but she doesn't express any definitive facial expression that tells us differently. She just quickly lashes out. This is not uncommon for captive elephants. It's really common. It's really common because no one's ever really listened to them well, and because of this, sometimes they're quick to lash out, and then people understand more. But we're trying to let her know that we're going to understand more, listen to more of the subtle communication, and yeah, she's doing well. She's doing great today. Not a lot to report. The estimate is we will be leaving tomorrow morning as long as everything continues to go well. We're going to try to get out of here early. We don't know exactly what time that's going to be. 1 second here. Going to try to get out of here early, but we'll just see how it goes. There's a lot of things we want to do. We need to set up the camera system. Unfortunately, we can't do it today. There's a community on the other side of this forest, and they're known for not being really respectful of things that are lying around. So if we attach anything to the transport crate, they're concerned that it might be enticing for people to take. They haven't done anything with the transport crate, no problems with any of that. But some of our, I had a small rope laying around yesterday, and that disappeared overnight. So we can't put the camera on the crate. We'll have to do that in the morning. So that might cause a little bit of delay to get us out of here. but we'll work as expeditiously as possible tomorrow morning to make sure it all goes well. Let's see. Not much else to really report. Like I said, things are calm and good and exactly what we would want. Nothing much new happening. Just continuing on the same page. We did close the gate behind her for probably half an hour or more today. Closed the gate. She was really, really good, really calm. My phone is getting pretty warm here, so it's getting darker by the second. Let me see if I move a little bit more. It is warm today. It's quite toasty. So it's a little harder to film. I know Claire's been having a hard time with her phone. It's been acting up during recording in the middle of the afternoon or middle of the sun. So, yeah, I wish I had more to report, but at the same time, it's good that there's nothing to report. It's really easy and good and calm. So I talked a little bit about giving her more space and letting her know that we're listening. So I'm not going to pass the phone directly when I'm in front of her today. When we're going close, I promised her today that we're going to stay really present. So sometimes when we're doing the Facebook Live, we want to get you guys to have a better look, see up close. But when we're doing that, we can't watch her and watch the phone at the same time. So I promised the lady that we're going to be very attentive to her. So when we're doing things close, it's only going to be us doing. I'm not going to be doing much with cameras. Definitely not with Facebook Live when I'm trying to communicate at the same time. So we're going to stay a little bit further away, but again, everything's going pretty well. Yeah, not much to report. Everything's good. Everybody's doing well. Everyone's holding up. A lot of support from everyone here. Everyone from the zoo, everyone from the city. Catherine just asked if we're going to do more foot soaks today. No, we're not going to. What we're going to do is we have homeopathic remedies. We have a flower essences that we're giving her, essential oils that we're giving her, one that's applying directly to her feet. So we'll just continue with those. We won't do any more foot soaks today. When the caregivers come back after lunch, they normally give her another bucket of fruit, 1 o'clock. So at that time I said, let's go ahead and call her out of the container and have her go back to her little center, her little care center. It's a little cooler in there in the middle of the afternoon than it is in the transport container. She does have a lot of warmth. I mean, she does have a great tolerance for the heat. Unlike Ramba, for those that followed Ramba's trip, lady is totally acclimated to this warmer temperature, so I think it's going to make the trip a little bit easier for her. Sometimes when they get warm, they start kind of spitting water on themselves, pulling moisture out of the mouth and throwing it on themselves. None of that's happening. There's a little water tank inside the transport container for her. She's not consuming, she's not blowing any of that water on herself. She'll drink it, but she's not blowing on herself. So she has a really, really good heat tolerance. But that said, we're going to bring her in the care center in the middle of the afternoon. Let her have a bath. Let her play in the water, give her some more fruit, give her some hay in there, and then later in the afternoon, closer to the end of the day, we'll have her come back down and go back in the transport container again, close the doors, and then we'll start packing up our stuff and get things organized for tomorrow. So, again, not much to report. Everything's good. Everything's easy. Somebody said, is she a little standoffish? She's actually really curious. And this is part of the issue, the miscommunication issue from her, is she'll reach out like she's very gentle, and she doesn't try to grab, she doesn't try to be aggressive in that way, but she'll reach out and like, hey, what are you doing? You want to check you out? Want to smell? She's really gentle. And then she'll turn around, she'll hit the bars. Not with incredible force or anything, but it's like, hey, who are you? I want to check you out. Oh, get away from me, you're too close. So it's that boundary that she hasn't defined well for us yet. because I don't think she's defined it well for herself. It's almost like she wants to open up, but she's just not ready. And when you realize you're opening up and you're not ready, it can be a little bit scary at times. And I think that causes her to react quickly, and then she goes back to being calm again. I talked about it yesterday. Her eyes change very quickly from comfort to very closed off emotionally. So calm, quiet, comfortable eye, and then closed off emotionally again. And it's hard to see why. I think it's just going to be general comfort of life in terms of not having complete security, having some invasion of her space a little bit in terms of there's a lot of people around. So once she settles into an environment that is more secure, it's more quiet, we'll expect that to change. But right now it's just a little bit tough. Somebody said, will she be locked in tonight? No, she'll have full access tonight. All night long, we're going to do exactly the same thing she has been having. Everything will be normal for her. At the end of the day, we'll put her food out in the habitat in the small enclosure. We'll put some food inside the container and inside the elephant care center here, the barn. And then throughout the night she'll be able to come and go as she desires, and when we arrive in the morning we'll have a bunch of fruit and we'll just simply call her down and say time to go in, and without question she'll go right on in. She has every morning so far, so I don't think tomorrow morning is going to be any different. So no, we will not be locking her in advance of the transport. If something happens with that, if she doesn't go in right away, no big deal. If we have to wait a couple hours, it's not a big deal. It's really, everyone's flexible. This is her time, it's her comfort, so it depends on what she's exhibiting. Somebody said, are the cables on there yet? No, they're not. There's a yellow cable going across the roof. That's actually a insulated hose for the electric fence. This fence is not elephant proof. It is electrified all the way around, just with a small livestock style fence charger. I did get shocked, forgot to turn it off when I was closing the gate, and it definitely lets you know it's there, but it's not horrible either. That being said, I don't like electric fencing. It doesn't work well. She has dismantled it more times than they can count. She's always trying to find a way to get through. Since she's been here, she hasn't really messed with it, but that yellow cable was buried in order to go from this side of the fence past the transport container and up the hill where those posts are leaning over. The reason why they're leaning over is because they were not electrified, and then she started pushing on them, so they then putting electric fencing through it. So she's gone out many times. They've had to adapt the fence many times. You can see behind it over there, there's a big bend to the fence. That's all from Lady. This fence is not an elephant-proof fence, so they've had to add a lot of electric fencing to it. I don't like it at all, but that's what that yellow cable is in order to keep both sides of the fence charged. None of the caregivers are going to be joining her on this trip. We did have that opportunity open to them, but no one felt comfortable with it. A lot of times they don't feel comfortable because they don't understand the whole situation. When we started the whole the transport here, a lot of people had not misunderstandings, but just weren't 100% comfortable with it. We had to work to build their trust and to let them see a little bit more of the process, let them see a little bit more about who we are. It's been a process. But they're really, really good. They're very helpful. Everybody here recognizes that they have limitations that are essentially causing Lady to not get what she needs. They all know they have not been able to treat her accordingly. They know they cannot provide the proper care for her. But at the same time, it's also difficult. But they're helpful, but they are not, no one was interested at the time to come with us. I did say again yesterday, if somebody wants to come, let us know. But I think everyone's going to wait, and some of them might come later. One of them does want to come and spend more time with us, but that will be later on when she has time for vacation. You can hear her playing with the locks. Don asked a question that a lot of people ask. Will she have sedation when transporting? No, she will not. She will keep her completely alert. We don't want to cause any changes, any physiological changes, or any issues with her ability to remain attentive, ability to remain in clear focus. They are such intelligent animals. They're so bright and alert and inquisitive and curious, and they're also very analytical. And with this, when they start going through these changes, they are smart enough to know and smart enough to kind of slow down and analyze. It doesn't mean there's not a little bit of stress, or even sometimes a lot of stress in different moments, but they do stop and analyze it. And so you want to keep them alert enough that they are fully present, fully aware of every change that's happening. We do have medical equipment with us. A lot of emergency medical care, medical equipment if required, but that's only for emergency use. Somebody asked, and I didn't see the name, sorry, 1 second. Tyne asked if how much we communicate with her about the sanctuary, about where she's going, who she'll meet. Yeah, I definitely include that in some of our conversation, but trying to find the balance with just being close and just listening to her. A lot of times just sitting with her and being, and not trying to make it into something, just being close. Just being there, just hanging out, just doing our thing, and not trying to manifest any sort of, look how beautiful it's going to be. It's going to be amazing, or trying to find friendship or anything like that. Just being, here we are, we're doing our thing, we're going to help you have a new life. This is one step in the process. You'll get to know us more along the way. We'll get to know you more along the way. And having that sort of intention without trying to make it into something too grand or too marvelous. Just being present and clear. She is... Hi, Karen. Karen said, is she packing up to go, and why? Lady is here. Where is she packing up to go, and why? Lady is here in João Pessoa, a small zoo in Paraíba, Brazil. She's been alone for a number of years, actually most of her life. She's a captive-born elephant in the United States, sold to a circus. She traveled throughout Brazil and South America as pretty much in a solitary existence most of her life with circus. About 7 years ago now, she was no longer traveled with the circus. She was sent to this small city in João Pessoa. They had her in a temporary enclosure which was surrounded by hot wire. She was really aggressive and not happy at all. So they built this enclosure for her a few years ago, I think in 2014 or 15. And now the zoo has agreed and the city has agreed that she needs to be sent to Elephant Sanctuary Brazil in Mato Grosso, Brazil, where she can receive a much better quality of life. Her feet are in catastrophic health. We've demonstrated that in some other videos. She is alone, which of course is catastrophic for them as well as highly social individuals, and of course does not have the space to be able to receive proper stimulation that elephants require. So overall, everything here is just not well suited for her. She has some beautiful people that work for her, and everyone's in agreement that they can't do enough. They don't have the capacity to do what Lady needs, and for this, everybody's clear that she needs to go somewhere else. Somebody said the locks that she's playing with elephant proof. Yeah, most of them are actually on the outside. So she passes her trunk. We have several of the doors open so she can explore with her nose, passing her trunk through, touching the locks, checking things out. The girls are good back at the sanctuary. Everything's going fine. They've had a lot of rain, so I'm sure the girls are nice and muddy. I haven't seen any photos actually recently aside from the rainstorms. Oh, excuse me. But everything's going really well back there. Normal sanctuary life. Barbara Wilson said, "I do so appreciate your evaluation of the mental capacities of elephants." Tragically, they are shortchanged over and over and over again. We underestimate them. Everyone talks about how intelligent they are. Everyone talks about how amazing they are. But then in our assessment, we treat them like they are, a fraction have a fraction of their capacity, and if you allow them to show to you, if you allow them to be all who they are, it's just amazing. And we have to use that with every one of our assessments. Earlier today, actually yesterday, when they started doing some stuff with foot soaks, the trainer, the positive reinforcement person said, what words do you want to use? And I said, it's not important. She said, what do you mean? She said, don't you want to associate words with certain behaviors? And I said, it's the intention behind it. It's not the words. It doesn't matter if it's English or it's Portuguese or whatever language we want to use. It's the intention behind the words that is the most impactful. With certainty, there's words that they do respond to. Put your foot in the bucket. Come here, move up. Let's, come join us. It's okay. There's words that we will use that are going to have different meanings. Let me see your ear. Lean in. There's certain words / commands that we use. But in the bigger picture, it's not just those words. It could be a hand signal. It could be a word. It could be a combination of both. But the bottom line is the intention behind it. And they're so smart. And we just have to let them be as amazing as they really are. Victoria asked about the camera inside the container. I can't install that yet. It actually can't go inside because she's so mischievous. We had to cut a hole and it'll be mounted to the outside of the container. But I can't mount it yet because of the security in the area. Behind this jungle area here, there's a community, and they are known for taking things that are not permanently affixed. So we will not put the camera in until Monday morning. I think somebody said how long she'd been in the container each day. Yesterday she was in there almost the entire day, completely on her own. There's nothing holding her in there. There's actually not even a lot of food. There's food on the outside. There's food up underneath the trees. There's food inside still. She had breakfast in the barn this morning, in the care center this morning. Right now there's just a little bit of food inside the container. But she's just hanging out as she did yesterday. Sometimes when we're doing things with her, we do it with food reward, and other times like closing the back gate. Yesterday when she had a lot of fruit, and one of her caregivers were there, we were closing the back gate. And then the next time we did it without anything special. She had some cane grass and she had some hay, but no special treats, just hanging out in the container. And we closed the gate and she was totally fine. So she just seems to be liking it. All the several people from the media are like, can you get her to come back out? It's like, we could, but it's kind of her time, her place, and she's finding comfort in there, so we're going to let her stay there. Everyone's calling it her new home away from home already. She's very comfortable, she's very chill, she's very good. Somebody said, what time it is there? Is it here now? I think it's right around noon. I don't know exactly what time. Somebody said, I wonder why she is staying in her crate so long. It's different. It's new. I mean, she has had such a limited amount of stimulation here that it's nice to have something different. Going back to their intelligence factor, I mean, they get so bored in these captive spaces. Even with behavioral enrichment, the boredom is pretty profound. So this actually works well in our favor because we're coming in with something new, completely different. And she's like, hey, I'll go explore. I'll go check it out. I'll stay there. She's totally calm. She's totally easy. She's totally good. So it's just, it's something different. New stimulation. She's never had a calf. She's never had offspring. She was born in captivity and sold to somebody. Thank you for correcting me. Somebody said it's 11:51. Yeah, so close to noon. She's born in captivity in the United States, sold to a circus, and lived pretty much solitary her whole life. So she's never had a calf. Somebody said she is smelling Ramba and feels safe. It could very well be the smell of another elephant, and maybe she'll bond with Ramba. You never know. There's so many dimensions at play. There's so many different elements. Maybe she will bond with Ramba. Maybe she won't bond with anybody for a while. There's so many different elements at play. So many different dynamics. For us, it's one of the things that is so fascinating and curious is just watching that all unfold. Without an expectation, without any level of knowing exactly how things are, what's going to happen, how things are going to shape up. All right, guys. Somebody says if she shows aggression during the trip, will you slow the travels? Anna, our decisions are made based on her behavior. Aggression would not necessarily be an indication of discomfort with the travel. It may be a discomfort with what we're doing. Discomfort with travel may be shown in other ways, such as being tired or not eating well or things of this nature. But we'll just continue to observe. And if she's not really comfortable in the trip, we don't necessarily slow travel. Sometimes we just continue driving, because a lot of times with elephants, they actually get more anxious when they stop on the road. Some elephants don't really want to stop for more than a couple hours. They start swaying more, they start exhibiting a neurotic behavior. So it just depends on what she's exhibiting. She'll determine how long or how short we can stop. We don't want to extend the trip too long, but we also want to make sure she's comfortable as possible throughout. So a lot of factors, as with everything else in life, there's always a lot of factors to consider. Somebody said, how many years has she been alone? Almost her whole life. I guess she did encounter some elephants along the way with Circus, but for the most part she was alone from what I've understood with our discussions here. Hey, Robin. See, every now and then I can read a name depending on the lighting here. Robin Beasley is a volunteer who came down to the sanctuary last year. Had a great time, got a lot of work done, and Robin's joining us, so it's nice to see. A lot of names, new and old, some that I've never seen before. We welcome you. It's nice to see so many new names, and then there's folks that we've been working with and have been helping us and supporting the sanctuary for years. So again, you guys are all amazing. We're grateful. You guys are the ones that made all this possible. Somebody said, what is the capacity at the sanctuary? Right now we only have 30 hectares fenced off. We need to keep expanding. We need to keep growing. More financial support will allow us to grow and build more fences. And right now we have the capacity for up to 10 female Asian elephants that are compatible. And we're working on finishing the first phase of development for female African elephants. Giving Tuesday is right around the corner. Do a little fundraising plug. Giving Tuesday is right around the corner. Our campaign is going to be raising money for Kenya. She's an African elephant in Mendoza. We are not too far away from being able to finish the first corral, not the first phase, but the first corral. And with this, we should be able to invite Kenya to come join us within a relatively short period of time. So a lot of things to build, a lot of things to construct to be able to prepare for other elephants. Sorry, a lot happening around. I keep looking at different things to make sure everything's still good. Sometimes people step over the fence behind us, wanting to get a little bit closer. All right, guys, I'm going to have to cut this short. I've got to run. I shouldn't cut it short. I've been going here for a little while, but I've got to run. I have to go take care of some other things, and we got to eat lunch, and then we're going to start closing the door, or possibly doing some other things with her. But so with that, thanks again. We appreciate you all being there. Thank you so much for being such a huge part of the process. Thank you for everyone who donated to make this possible. You guys are all amazing. And please keep continuing to share, keep following along. There's still a way that you can sign up for text updates along the journey. There's going to be some posts, or if you look at some of the old Facebook posts, you can find out what you can do there. Donate to please help continue to support our work here and our work to build and expand so we can help other elephants in need. And I guess that's about all. You guys are amazing. We will talk soon. I'll try to do another update before the end of the day to let you know what's happening. All right, take care. Ciao, ciao. We'll see you then.